Basic Architect. We're out here at our Build Show Build Boston site, down in the basement. We're going to talk about some insulation, but before I get to that, you're probably wondering, what do I mean by Build Show Build Boston site? Well, I am a contributor for the Build Show Network. It's owned by a good friend of mine, Matt Reisinger, who has tons of videos. He's out on YouTube. You can go check out our videos there. I do a lot of videos with him, but on the Build Show Network specifically, and that's buildshownetwork.com, you can go there. Under contributors, you can find my name. I put up videos all, weekly there, sometimes twice a week. But under the tab that is originals, you'll find the Build Show Build Boston series. And that's basically documenting this build that I'm in roughly probably around 26, 28 episodes in total, where we're going to go right from the day where we demoed the house to the day that the homeowner gets handed the keys and we turn over occupancy to the homeowner. So we're going through everything. We're probably through about episode, I think 9 or 10 right now. So we're about halfway through. Go check it out. You can find it there, or you can find it on Matt Reisinger's YouTube channel. You can watch the videos there. You can leave comments. We can create discussions. If you got questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, Build Show Build Boston. This is that house. So, what are we talking about today? We're talking about insulation. In this basement here, we chose to actually spray about 3 to 4 inches. And I say 3 to 4 because it was depending on the gravel and the spray, but there's a minimum of 3 inches of closed cell underneath the slab that I'm on here. And you can go watch the full video there. But that insulation, when it was sprayed underneath the slab on top of the stone, and it rose up, and you can see it turned up the wall about 18 inches. And that's so we can do one of my favorite words, right? We want to maintain continuity. We want to maintain continuity in air tightness, but we also want to maintain continuity in thermal performance. So that insulation turns up the corner, gets sprayed about 18 inches up. It gets sprayed to a thickness of about 2 inches there, so that we can then come back and we can frame this wall on the inside. And you can see the framers have been back. They've done that. You can also see here that the framers, they use a sill sealer, and that's part of the detail, right? The sill sealer, it's nothing more than that foam rollout capillary break. I just don't like to put wood against the concrete. So any capillary action, this stops it from migrating up into that framing. So we have that, it's sitting on the sill sealer. You can also see that bottom plate is a pressure treated plate. So that's just another aspect of belt and suspenders. Do we need it? No, we have a capillary break there. We could make the argument that the wood isn't touching concrete, so it doesn't violate the code, but rather than pick and choose what arguments to have with the building inspector, we just do a treated plate at the bottom, make that problem go away. So we have our 2x4 wall. It's held off a couple inches. You can see we have our closed cell spray foam sprayed up 18 inches. Now the insulators come back and they're going to insulate the wall for us. But what's really interesting in talking to the insulator is they don't come back and then just spray the full 2 inches. They like to spray just a skim coat. And the reason that they do that is they really want that skim coat to bite the concrete. So if they came out and they sprayed the full 2.5 inches or so, you'd have a lot of weight that is basically hanging on, trying to bite that concrete and not slide down the wall at all. So what they do is they come back later and they'll spray the rest of that when you have this heavy contour here, which they can get a slightly better bite on that insulation. So you can see they came here, they sprayed a little skim coat. It's still slight of that 2 inches that turned the slab and came up. And then as I go through here, you'll see here we have the full spray where we've fully encapsulated to the back side of that, stud, wood stud. So that leaves us this cavity. We'll then just do a blown-in cavity insulation there. The whole reason for using the closed cell against the foundation wall is I get quick high R value, 2.5 inches. I'm probably in like an R16-ish range to the face of this. So that elevates that first condensing surface. If there's any moisture here that migrates through the wall, it's going to hit a warm surface on the face of that foam. The foam is impermeable, so it doesn't allow moisture to migrate through. So the moisture is held inside the stud cavity, but it's not allowed to condense because it doesn't fall below that dew point temperature. It stays above it because we're insulated with that closed cell there. We'll fill the rest of this cavity. That'll be a thermal insulation, not one that's controlling moisture in any way. And we'll probably end up with 16, another 15. We'll probably end up with around an R30 wall down here that's very well soundproof because we'll have that blown-in insulation there to work with that. But anyways, that's our basement insulation out here at Build Show Build Boston. These guys, the insulation company, very diligent guys. Go check out the videos. We got a bunch of videos. It's owned by a gentleman named Jesus, if you can believe it. So Jesus is doing a hell of a job out here insulating out at our Build Show Build Boston site. So anyways, that's my talk about basement insulation. I'm Steve Basic Architect. This is the Build Show Build Boston site. And until next time, long live our building.